Hey everyone, for this video I'm going to review the Asus Zen Screen Touch portable monitor. Before I show you the things included, I want to thank Asus Singapore for lending me this unit for the review. So this is the monitor. This model that I have here, this is the MB16AMT. This is a 15.6-inch IPS panel with touch screen functionality. And it comes with this ballpoint pen with a rubber tip on the back so that you can tap on the screen. There are two cables. One is a micro HDMI to full-size HDMI. The other is a USB-C to USB-C. And it comes with this magnetic case that you can snap onto the display. And this case can be folded and deployed into various angles and positions. So let me just put it back. The magnets are strong enough to hold the display, but you have to get the right position in order for the display to snap perfectly onto the case. So this is just one of the many possible deployments. There are three variations for this display. So this particular model that I have, it has touch screen and built-in battery. The second model has no touch screen but has a built-in battery, and the last model has no touch screen and no built-in battery. So the price will depend on whether or not you have the additional features. And this webpage is from Amazon and the ratings are pretty good. So let's see what are some of the important specs. Oh, it supports Windows, Android 6 and above, Chrome OS, Linux, Mac OS 10.15 or newer, and it's also compatible with Thunderbolt 3. Weight of this display, it's 0.9 kg, which is a decent weight for a monitor of this size. The resolution is 1080p, and this is quite thin, 9mm. We have rounded corners on all the four sides. The build quality feels quite solid. Feels like metal on the back, if I'm not wrong, and this feels like metal as well. On the bottom left here, we have the directional toggle button. This directional toggle for the menu, it feels a bit fiddly though. It could be a bit more firm. And on the right side, we have the power button. Now you may not actually need to use the power button because when you connect the cable to the display, it will automatically power on, and when you take out the cable, it will power off. There's this hole here that you can use with the ballpoint pen. Just slot it in here and you can deploy the monitor at this angle. Or you can have it prop up in this vertical format as well. This is the size comparison to my 15.6-inch laptop. It's actually about the same size, except the laptop is taller because the aspect ratio for the laptop is different from this 16:9 aspect ratio. In terms of thickness, if the case is not included, this is definitely thinner, but with the case, it looks like they are about the same thickness. And now let's connect my laptop to the display. So I'm using the micro HDMI port here. And the display should turn on automatically. I have tried connecting Windows and Mac OS using HDMI, my Samsung Android tablet and iPad Pro with USB-C using this port, and they all were detected automatically without any issues. So right now, this display is powered by the internal battery, which is a 7800 milliamp battery, and it can power this display at maximum brightness for about 3 hours. So that's good enough for watching a movie. And speaking of movies, there are actually speakers built in as well on the left and on the right side. Stereo speakers, and the sound quality is surprisingly, it's not bad, it's good. You can control the volume using the menu on the display, but this is quite inconvenient, so it's best to control the volume using your computer or your tablet. At the time of this review, volume control, it doesn't work on Mac OS. So let's see what settings you can change with the menu. So these are the different color modes standard sRGB, scenery. I'm actually using scenery mode because that's the brightest. Blue light filter, and here you can change the brightness, contrast, saturation, and color temperature. I have this display right now at 100% brightness, and I measured about 200 nits with my color calibrator, so that's a good amount of brightness for a portable monitor like this. For the color temperature, you can choose between these options. You don't actually get the numbered option, you know, the 6500. You can check the battery life from the display menu, and if it's charging, there will be this charging icon. This monitor supports quick charge, so it can charge the battery quite quickly. So these are the different setups. Oh yeah, touch screen. You can turn this on or off. Touch screen is only supported if your system supports touch functionality. So for example, with Mac OS, it doesn't support touch. So when you connect this display to Mac OS, you won't be able to have all those touch features. And when you connect an iPad to the display, touch does not work as well because the iPad OS doesn't support touch for external displays. By the way, the orientation for the display, it's automatically detected based on the orientation of your tablet or on your computer. But for macOS, it's always landscape. Sometimes I notice certain visual defects, so you see those weird pixelation going on. That usually happens when I accidentally hit the display cable, so you just have to disconnect and connect it again. But once you set up the display and you don't move anything, it looks great. The color gamut for this Asus display is measured by the Spider 5 Pro color calibrator, and I measured 49% Adobe RGB, 47% NTSC, 49% P3, and 66% sRGB. So the color support is not that great, but I did not expect this monitor to be a color accurate display anyway. So it doesn't compare to desktop monitors in terms of color accuracy. However, out of the box, the colors of this display, they do look good. They do look nice. I don't see any unnatural colors. And the viewing angle, it's quite decent. We have good colors and good contrast. However, when it comes to doing color accurate work, I will not be checking my work on this display. I'll be using my laptop display instead. I believe this monitor is targeted at mobile office workers, or basically anyone who wants a portable monitor to add additional resolution on top of the laptop that they are already using. If you're just using your computer mostly at home, you don't have to get this. You can just get a desktop monitor. The main selling point for this really is the portability and the built-in battery, and of course the size of the screen. So this is 15.6 inch and this is also 15.6 inch. Main differences, resolution is 1080p here, so you can definitely see the pixelation, but for office workers or for an external monitor like this, 1080p resolution, it's still pretty good. Let's talk about my use case. So in my office, I have a desktop computer that's connected to two monitors, and one monitor is just dedicated to checking emails because I have a lot of emails, a lot of assignments and work coming in all the time. And I need to see all the work that comes in instantly on the display. Say for example, if I only have one display like this and I'm working on my work. By the way, I work with graphic design and I create graphics, so I can work on this, concentrate on this for half an hour or hours non-stop, and I may actually miss out on important emails that are actually coming in. So I have to constantly switch between the email app and my work. It's very distracting. And I have to remember constantly to switch between the apps to check my email. And I just don't do that because that's a lot of interruption. So having an external display like this just to check emails, for me, it's very, very convenient. Another way I may use this display is actually to have my reference photos on the side. So for example, I have this model of the stadium. I need to check the accuracy of the stadium to see if I have left out any important things that I have forgotten to render. So I can have my reference photo on the side here and look at this rather than squeeze this window here onto the single display that I am using and then just switch around like this. It's not as productive compared to having my reference photos on this side there. These are just two use cases I can think of. There are actually many other uses for external displays. Let's talk about touch functionality. So I have just connected this Samsung tablet to the display and touch works automatically. If you connect this to Windows, touch will work automatically as well. So let me just open up an app. So the keyboard comes up automatically as well. And you can type here, no problem. The resolution here, it's not as high compared to the tablet, so I can see some pixelation. Let me turn the tablet on the side here so that I can get the landscape orientation. The content doesn't scale up to the whole display, so for the Samsung, I actually have to engage the Samsung DeX mode. So now you can see the tablet has filled up the whole display. With this particular setup, I actually have to place my tablet here because when I press the keyboard button, the keyboard only appears here. I cannot type on the screen as there's no keyboard. If you're using this with Windows, depending on what type of Windows devices that you're using, if you're using a laptop, then you already have keyboard. If you're using something like a Surface Pro, it would depend on where that soft keyboard will be, or you can just get an external keyboard, which is going to be way more convenient. So at the time of this review on Amazon, the price for this particular model is US $339, but of course this price will depend on where you buy it and who you buy it from and whether or not there are any promotion, and of course if shipping is or is not included. If you do not need the touch screen, you can go for the cheaper model. This is the MB16AMT. And if you do not need the touch screen and battery, you can go for the even cheaper model. This is the MB16AC. So these are prices on Amazon USA. Let's take a look at the prices in Singapore. So I did a search on lazada.sg and it seems like a lot of retailers, they are selling this model at Singapore dollars 699, and it comes with a 3-year warranty. By the way, the touch functionality of this display, it's working really well. I'll put some links in the video description below to where you can find the full specifications for this monitor, as well as links to where you can buy this online. So is this worth the money? Well, I have presented to you all my findings, so you can decide whether or not this is worth the money for the type of work that you do. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it's helpful. See you in the next one. Bye.